What we're getting 7 years later is equivalent to the console we should have gotten in 2017.
Right.
Non-apologetic
Nonsense.
So everyone by now has saw the big reveal for the Switch 2. This had to have been the most leaked console launch announcement in history. Here's my question though. Is it too little, too late? And why do we continue to take a slap in the face from Nintendo?
It's a little bit bigger.
They say that the processor, I believe it goes from the existing 2 cores in our current Switch to 8 cores, okay? But here's the thing, and I've been saying this for years. When the Switch came out in 2017, whatever cell phone you had at that point was more powerful than the Switch is now. So what we're getting 7 years later is equivalent to the console we should have gotten in 2017.
Right.
They say that it is almost as good as the PS4.
Almost.
So why do we continue to allow this? Buy it day one, spend extra on, they'll put out a game and never drop the price.
No.
And we just continue to slurp it up like a bunch of dong knobbers.
Couple guys from work, they got Switches, and they play the Smash Brothers. It's been out for a while. I should probably find that cheap. Go to Walmart, look, or whatnot.
Retail
No.
price.
Yeah, so $55.
Launch day price.
Still.
Yeah.
It's
And
like, nope.
there
I'll try
is-
eBay or something.
there is one thing of note. I've seen a few reviews already from people, but I don't see anyone touching on. Now, I do, and I'm going to be a little bit of a hypocrite here, I do have the OLED.
I just got one myself.
As we see in the video now,
Hey, you got a fucking Game Gear over there.
yeah, I don't like the Joy-Cons are the least ergonomic. It's not a controller. It's a TV remote, you know?
Yeah.
But
That's why I got one of them 8-bit Duo.
yeah, I mean,
I got
that's
the
a
one
pretty
that looks
good.
like the Super Nintendo controller.
Now, I don't know if I'm the odd man out here. When I hold and I game, I twist. So do you see this play here? I don't have as much here, but I have play where I kind of, I don't know, directional maybe. So if we no longer have this track and we have little magnets, which I doubt they're spraying for like earth magnets, what stops this from, as I twist it, the whole controller just popping off constantly? Do you do the same, first off? Am I the odd man out here in sort of twisting the controller a little bit?
I really still don't play it, even if I'm just playing on the small screen. I'll put it on the stand and still use that.
Oh, you don't play handheld mode, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't really have an opinion on
Yeah.
this.
I don't know if I had something like that, I might.
Oh, yeah.
throw
This
one
is
there.
the only way. It's the Hori Switch Pad
Bro,
Pro.
have to grab me one of those.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. They'll only last you about a year, but for me, my hands, everything, they're completely worth it. Now, if we look on this launch trailer, right, we have our kickstand, which is 100% improvement off the original little kickstand that should have never been there, right?
Yeah.
Have a look at the OLEDs.
Yeah, that's way better.
This is amazing because you can put it in any angle and the thing will just flat out, well, my controllers are a little bigger than most people's, but it will just flat out hold. So, I mean, it doesn't take a mechanical engineer to tell you that that stand will not be as taut as this one here, right?
Good.
Now, bigger size. Let's talk about that. I don't want anything bigger than this. This is already
That right there, that
bananas.
OLED is perfect, I think.
Right. Now, see, it seems like we gave Nintendo a pass in 2017 because unless you were into emulation for just the average casual gamer, there really wasn't a good handheld option, right? But nowadays, you know, this is going to actually be competing with the Steam Deck, with, I don't remember what Asus's offering is, but there's so many of these, they're calling them handheld PCs now, that are actually as powerful as a decent spec laptop. But it is so, those little machines are so powerful, and the new Switch is coming out in 2025 is like 2018 specs. I got to thinking, of course, nostalgia glasses, right? People want they Mario, Zelda. But like, let's cut the bullshit. You don't get those from Nintendo anymore. You get a new offering every 8 years, maybe. And I'm not counting like Mario Kart or Smash Bros. Because that's something they can just slap a new skin on, add a new ability, and come out with new ones.
A few more characters. And,
Right. We got Super Mario Wonder which was a wonder why anyone bought it. You still have my game of that, by
Yeah,
the
I
way.
do. I was just thinking about those.
I'm playing Switch stuff. Don't get at me, Nintendo. I'm playing Switch stuff on emulators, right? I'm playing old Nintendo stuff on emulators. We're just not getting those titles. Metroid Dread that we got was the first Metroid in like 15 years. So could you imagine if this were PlayStation? And they were like, we're not developing any new IPs. We're not doing any of that. We're going to stick to the, games that came out in 91 to 95. We're going to give you Resident Evil, Metal Gear, God of War. That's it. We will not develop anything. And even though the Xbox is in 2025, we're going to come out with a new console that's spec'd way down to where you won't be able to play real games on it. Now give us your money.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, here you go.
I'm having a lot harder time grasping around, especially when the rumored $450 price tag for the Switch.
2.
That has no games. That cannot play real games. Like, it got to a point, for example, I bought, no need to pull out, but I bought Dark Souls, original Dark Souls, which is like, a PS2, PS3 game?
PS3.
And it does not play on the Switch. They came out with the game. I have the game. It stutters, it stalls, it hangs. I tried playing it on a flight, and it was just unplayable.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I saw like one of the games that comes out with launch is still fucking Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom?
Breath of the Wild. The first one.
So now they're doing the GTA 5 theme where it's now coming out on a third or fourth generation of console?
Yeah.
And I know people crucified me for this, but that game sucks. And I mean, it doesn't suck, but y'all hyped it up to be the best game ever, and it just flat out is not. The worst, what's a good example in the same par? The worst Assassin's Creed game is better than that. It's a good time killer, but as far as like, whoa, I didn't have it. I thought it was kind of dumb. And then Tears of the Kingdom is just a reskin of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I'm trying to play through it because I finished Breath of the Wild and I have Tears of the Kingdom. I started it over.
And it was almost a decade between the two.
Yeah.
I mean, they are literally just slapping us in the face at this point. And let's think about this. It's going to be successful. Let's just cut that nonsense, right? But how successful? Because let's think about it. Let's think about the people who really have given Nintendo money, and that's large families. Okay, so you might have a Switch in the living room. Each of the 3 kids might have a Switch Lite in their bedrooms, extra Joy-Cons, the whole 9. But what incentive do they have to buy this console, multiples of them at launch? Maybe 1 for the living room, but they're going to continue to put out games on the regular Switch for at least a couple years.
Yeah.
And in reality, you'll technically, because of the specs, you'll always be able to play Switch 2 games on a Switch 1, even if you need to mod yours at some point. Because, like I say, we didn't have the technological leap that we deserved here. We don't really get anything new Mario, and when we do, it looks like the same 90s Mario. Zelda looks like it's from 2000. Metroid is supposed to look a certain way. You don't really want to polish a Metroidvania too much. Could you picture if, like, PlayStation had a hold of these IPs? If PlayStation was putting out 2025 Mario, and he's got like rocket launchers and, he's not even worried about the princess no more because he's got like
making turtle soup,
a bankroll and bitches. And you know what I mean? He's jacking cars in the Mushroom Kingdom. And oh man, it would be great.
Mario meets GTA. I would play the shit out of that
That
game.
would be amazing.
You're just burning motherfuckers with fireballs from the hand.
Oh yeah. King Koopa is just a tweaker in that little, that trailer park, and he cooks the best dope, and Mario has to stop him
Just
because
strung out lizard.
this is the plot. Mario, he enjoys his hallucinogens, and King Koopa is bringing in the meth, and it's bringing in the undesirables. So Mario's got himself a gun, But at the end of the day, is it really worth it to anyone for $450? And that's sort of my biggest beef is the large price tag as if they're doing something great when I rock an iPhone SE, right? And I haven't compared specs, but I guarantee if I do, this is more powerful than the Switch 2. I mean, what do? When it came out, it wasn't just a glorified tablet. Now that we have other options that are more powerful, better, even the off-brand ones, and they're half the price, is it really worth it? Like, I'm seeing kids out in public now rocking the Steam Deck all the time.
I know. Like I've looked into them. I've considered getting one because I had Steam account, a lot of games on there.
Yeah.
And you can, I mean, the PC games, if it's the same, like, look at that, like I'm playing on my laptop, man, it's a badass little handheld
Yeah,
system.
because you're going to have, like you say, all the PC. You're also going to have the, what Xbox is crossed with the, Game Pass and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great, but the only way the Switch 2 will ever play modern games is what they're doing right now with like the Resident Evil series, where they're doing cloud gaming. They've kind of admitted we can't play real games on this thing, but you can stream it and it'll be no more useful than this mouse is.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. 'Cause I got the Resident Evil 2 remake on the Switch. And I was playing like, yeah, then it's cloud gaming. It's like, oh fuck, I cannot play this without an internet connection.
How does it work response-wise? Like if I press run, does it take a moment on the Switch?
No, it plays pretty smooth.
Because it's also
But
got...
she's probably in there playing it right now.
Say it's also got a cheap Wi-Fi chip in it. But now I don't have a Steam Deck nor a Steam account. So I am taking someone's word on this. But they have told me that they were able to mod their Steam Deck and they're able to play existing Switch titles on it.
Wouldn't be surprised.
So I kind of almost advise everyone to just get a Steam Deck. You'll have a real game library, watch a couple YouTube videos, learn how to mod those Switch games.
Yeah, because they got like pretty much anything you can play on an Xbox or PlayStation is going to be on Steam. Not every single game, but...
Nintendo is one of the top companies in the world.
Yeah, you won't see any Nintendo games on Steam.
Like, they could easily make real games. They could have came out for the Switch 2 and mollywopped everyone with this badass state-of-the-art stuff we've never seen before. They had enough time. They have the profit. You understand what I mean? And at that point, if they would have came out with the biggest, baddest handheld ever, they probably could have charged even more than $450 for it.
Probably.
But now they're charging $450 for something that's worth $2. And that's what upsets me about the whole thing. And like I say, what do you think the families are going to do? People who have multiple Switches, are they going to be worried about upgrading? Or are they going to wait until they're forced to? Because remember, all their peripherals, their Joy-Cons, they're no longer going to work. Some people got 30 Joy-Cons, buddy.
Right.
Nada. You know someone's going to sell like a little clip-in or magnet kit that converts the signal to where you can use your old Joy-Cons on it. But what will you do? You have 2 or 3 Switches, right, in your household with your child and everything. Will you be trying to get 1 at launch? 0? 2? None?
I will wait.
That is fair enough. Now, for me, I've made no secret about it. The Switch, for me, is a Metroidvania player. It can't play real games, but I like Metroidvanias, and they don't take much, GPU, much processing power. They just work. I've talked so much smack. Let me sing their praises on one thing. What I'll do, especially with the Metroidvanias, I'll show you on my library to give you some ideas, but I'll go through and I'll add a bunch to my wish list with no intent of buying them. And then eventually you'll get an email saying, not with new games, but not with their games, but with like Metroidvanias, this item has gone on sale. And then I wait for them to be like $5. Because they'll put the third-party games on sale, just not their own, intellectual property. Now, do we have an official launch date? Or is it just 25?
There was a date at the end of it. I don't know if that was the launch or
It just says
the Nintendo
25.
Direct.
Oh, yeah, they're talking about more information at the Direct. When I saw this, I thought they might be sneaky. And at the Direct, they go, pre-orders are live now. You know what I mean? So I got to be ready with that, because if y'all are going to be dumb enough to give Nintendo thousands of dollars for this console, I ought to be able to make a little as well. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Switch too little, too late is what I say. And if I wasn't a dirty scalper, I would not have one on launch day. I would wait for years, buy a used one, and fix it myself, which is kind of what I advise everyone to do. For now, I am perfectly content with my OLED, which, by the way, is another praise of theirs. Badass screen. Freaking
Yes.
thing's perfect. But
Yes, it is.
if only it could play games. Nice to look at. That's kind of where the review ends. I hope that I am wrong, and if I do, I will stand with my mouth open and go,
Wow.